I'm looking at you. Are you happy?
You mean now that I'm Mrs. Prince of Darkness? Honestly, I don't need protection. Todd is a very complicated man, but he isn't Satan. Todd is harder to read than any person I've ever met. He tries to act like it all washes over him, but deep down somewhere, he is hurting desperately over Blair.
Taya, I think you made a bad bargain.
Do you know how smart Todd is? Underneath all that tough talk and that
smart
attitude.
Here, where it counts.
Maybe he is. And he doesn't know how to express what his heart is telling him. Can you imagine how maddening that must be? And how lonely it makes him?
Okay, you know, you're really starting to scare me. Are you getting emotionally involved with this guy? Is that part of the bargain?
No, as you said, I'm just a wife and mother for hire.
That's not what I'm hearing. What I'm hearing is you feel sorry for him.
When Todd first asked me to marry him, you made it perfectly clear that I would be wrong to accept his offer.
Of money in exchange for a loveless marriage.
But now that it's about more than money...
But it's not about love. It's not about love, is it? What you feel for Todd is some kind of a morbid fascination.
Or maybe, just maybe, it's about sympathy. And love never grows out of that?
The sympathy's got to be real. The sympathy can't be bought for whatever it is he paid you. What was it, millions of dollars?
Look, the money is not the point here.
Please. Please, Taya, what are you going to tell me? You're going to tell me you would have married this guy if you didn't have a dime? You would have said I do because you feel sorry for him?
I might have.
Oh, I don't believe that for a minute. You made yourself a very savvy business deal. And now you got all the money in the world. Is it enough?
You're a child of privilege, Andrew. How could you possibly know what it's like not to have enough?
Your marriage is a sham. So is mine. The more you hide it from yourself, the more you're going to be trapped.
Hi. Glad you finally showed up.
Yeah, I showed up. Now I'm leaving.
No, you're not. I want you to meet someone. Abuela, this is my husband, Todd Manning. And, Todd, this is my grandmother, Maria Delgado.
Nice to meet you. Your granddaughter is a very interesting woman.
Oh, and I'm very interested in you. Tia told me very little.
Well, now that we're married, you'll have lots of time to get to know Todd. In the meantime, would you like something to drink?
Oh, drink. That's a good idea. I'll go get him. I'll get you a tea or something, huh?
I have something for you, mija. San Juan. So you remember who you are.
I need the patron saint of Puerto Rico to remember? Why do you keep telling me that I'm not Latina enough? Okay, I am who I am.
Cálmate, Tia. I don't mean about being a Latina. I mean as a person. May he watch over you.
No. San Juan. No.
I do that all the time. Lately, all I've been doing is talking to myself.
Abuela gave him to me.
Nice gift. Who is he?
San Juan.
Patron saint of Puerto Rico. Well, don't look at me like that. I know things.
Abuela she doesn't want me to forget who I am.
All right, I'll bite. Who are you?
This is me. This is not.
All right, so you want to redecorate. Go ahead, knock yourself out.
It's not about decor. It's what it represents. Look, never mind. It's late.
Not that late. Look, Star and Judith and Bert are all out for the night. That just leaves you and me and San Juan here. You don't need a glass, do you?
The janitor's daughter?
Now, look, I've seen you drink champagne out of a $200 flute. Don't kid yourself. Besides, this is America. Even the janitor's daughter can grow up to be the first lady.
Or president.
All right, I stand politically corrected. Look, With your education, you've got enough grit. You can do whatever you want. Why are you bothered by this penthouse and a few $1 million?
I don't know if I can make you understand. Do you see any difference in our skin color?
No.
No. But when I fill out a form for the census or my health insurance, I can't check off white. I'm Hispanic.
So what?
So, if your last name were Delgado instead of Manning, you'd be considered a totally different race, even if everything about you were exactly the same. Look, if you lived in the basement of a Park Avenue apartment building, you'd understand what I meant. The public school where I went to high school was very Upper East Side Manhattan. Full of kids whose rich, liberal parents wanted their children to mix with minorities. I mean, that's what we were. Part of the lesson plan, to teach those kids about tolerance. I felt like I wore a sign on me that said, minority. But I looked just like those Anglos, so I figured it wasn't my outside. It must have been something about my inside that made me different. Something invisible.
Maybe they were just stupid.
I remember begging my father for ballet classes. I remember that first class. Oh, the teacher, Miss Julia. She had long blonde hair, twirled up into a ballet bun. She had pale pink tights and a black leotard, and a tasteful little diamond on a gold chain around her neck. God, I wanted to be just like her. Miss Julia referred to us all by our first names. There was Amy, Alice, Elizabeth, Karen, and Taya, so nobody knew my secret. Finally, I was one of them. We giggled and shared confidences and finally started to become friends. I mean, Alice even asked me to come visit her at her family's place in the Hamptons. I'd never even heard of the Hamptons. I was in heaven. Then the mothers and the babysitters started to arrive to pick us up. I had totally forgotten about Abuela. I tried to act like she was my nanny. But Abuela, in her broken English, told everyone how proud she was of her granddaughter, the ballerina. In that instant, everything just changed. To this day, I have yet to go to the Hamptons.
Well, the Hamptons probably suck eggs. And sounds like your ballet class was a bunch of little racists.
Yeah, well. Rachel says you're a racist.